Hey, it's Katie Harris from Philly Wellness Center, and we are talking about this is a continued conversation about cholesterol. And today we're talking about low cholesterol and high risk with the cancer connection, right? So, why low cholesterol might not be what you think, and what we need to do about it. So, what if I told you that lowering your cholesterol can actually increase your risk of cancer? I know that's really frustrating because we've been told lower your cholesterol, cholesterol is the bad guy, blah, blah, blah. We've been taught to fear cholesterol, that it clogs your arteries, causes heart disease, and that by lowering your cholesterol number, you'll be better off. But what if that is completely backwards? And it is, it's absolutely backwards. The fact is, study after study shows that people with low cholesterol are actually at higher risk for cancer and even death. These studies are done by biochemists. There's thousands of articles out there, and we have 50 years of research on this. So today I want to flip the script and I'll explain why cholesterol is not the enemy and how cholesterol sets the stage for cancer, low cholesterol, and why the problem isn't the number on your lab test, but really what's happening inside your cells to the lipids. So let's start with what we've heard already, right? So high cholesterol equals danger, right? That's what we've heard. And, don't eat eggs, don't do this, don't do that. Even that you can lower your cholesterol with your diet, which is completely ridiculous because you can't. So doctors prescribe statins. Food companies brag about cholesterol free, and patients are terrified when their numbers creep over 200. But the fact of the matter is the liver is responsible for making 99% of your cholesterol. So that means your dietary consumption constitutes 1%. Now, if you were going to take a major test and 99% of the content was on math and 1% was on spelling, would you spend time studying spelling, right? Because is it going to move the needle? No, like it doesn't make any sense. So trying to change your diet to lower your cholesterol is just ridiculous. The liver, the body wants cholesterol to be between 200 and 250. So the liver is going to generate cholesterol to maintain that level. If the body's under a lot of stress and inflammation and you have endothelial dysfunction, the cholesterol level will go up because it's a biomarker and it's trying to repair those areas. So cholesterol is a number that we should monitor and watch and think about, but you also have to understand why it's trying to do what it's trying to do. It's a first responder. It's going to the site where there's inflammation to patch it up so that you don't have future problems. Um, but on the reverse end of that, when the cell membrane and cholesterol makes up, it's one of the three main things that make up the cell membrane. The cell membrane is made up of cholesterol, phosphatidylcholine, and plasmalogens, right? So on the reverse side of that, if you have low cholesterol, now you have cellular membrane breakdown because you don't have enough cholesterol for the cellular membrane. So then you have a breakdown in the cellular membrane and the mitochondria are dysfunctional. They can't produce enough energy. And the body has to make a decision. And the decision is, we only have so much energy. We have an energy budget here. What is going to go without extra energy today? That the things that are going to be prioritized are choline production because the body needs to make choline for a variety. It's essential nutrient that the body needs constantly, and it'll basically cannibalize itself to get choline. So that is a major source of energy production goes to choline. The brain needs to function, and the brain needs choline because it needs acetylcholine to process thoughts and memories and that kind of stuff. The heart needs to pump, right? So if the mitochondria say, hey, well, we're not going to send any energy to the liver, so you're going to have to down regulate how much cholesterol you're making. If the cholesterol is going down, you have a severe energy problem. Okay, so we need to look at mitochondrial dysfunction. Why is there such a small amount of energy availability in the body when the mitochondria downregulate the liver, which is an essential organ? You'll die without your liver, right? Pretty quickly. When it downregulates energy supply to the liver, which then reflects a low cholesterol, you're in a lot of trouble. This is really not a good place to be in. So, the reality is that low cholesterol is consistently linked with higher cancer incidence and the overall higher mortality. So, in other words, the lower your cholesterol, the less resilient your body is because your cell membranes are unstable now. And so we've been chasing the wrong enemy. Cholesterol isn't the villain. It's a biomarker telling us that something's wrong. So cholesterol is absolutely vital for life. It's the raw material your body uses to build your cell membranes, like I said. And then the other thing that it does is it creates your hormones, right? So the pathway, the cholesterol makes your sex hormones like estrogen, testosterone. It's a precursor to making estrogen, testosterone, and cortisol. So if you don't have that, then your hormone levels are going to drop. They're going to plummet. It also is on the pathway. So downstream from cholesterol, when the statins block cholesterol, the other thing they block is CoQ10. Well, CoQ10, because it's the thing that happens after cholesterol, CoQ10 is absolutely required for energy production in the mitochondria. So when you eat, and we're hydrocarbon combusting machines, right? You eat food, that food is turned into high voltage electrons, and they need to be passed off into the energy chain that we have. The first molecule that grabs onto those high voltage electrons is CoQ10. And if you don't have CoQ10 because you're blocking CoQ10 production, because you're blocking cholesterol because you think you should for some reason, then you create oxidative stress. And the oxidative stress then creates hydrogen peroxide, which if that's not neutralized, now you get endothelial dysfunction, you get inflammation, and it starts attacking the cell membrane. And now you've created this kind of cycle where the low cholesterol is creating mitochondrial dysfunction, and it activates the immune system to come in and start killing these cells because they're damaged and the body doesn't like that. So it's causing a huge, huge amount of problems. The other problem is, vitamin D on that same pathway after CoQ10 is the production of vitamin D. Cholesterol is the precursor to vitamin D. So now you're wearing SPF, so you're blocking the sun from producing vitamin D in the skin, and you're blocking cholesterol, and internally you can't produce vitamin D. And guess what happens when you don't have any vitamin D? Well, now you get sick because vitamin D is responsible for your immune system. You have mood disorders because vitamin D is a hormone, and it has a lot of functioning in the brain. And it can exacerbate or cause heart failure, heart problems, cardiomyopathies. And if you have no vitamin D, then you die. So it's a problem, right? It's a big deal. It's not something to muck around with. And also, cholesterol protects your brain with myelin, right? That's what myelin is made up. Myelin is made up of cholesterol. That's basically what it's made up of. And myelin is that sheath that's around all the axons. So when your brain tells your foot to move, the axon is covered with myelin. And if you're missing myelin or it starts breaking down, then you get these skip gaps, right? And then the message doesn't relay as easily. And we see that in multiple sclerosis. So multiple sclerosis is a disease of demyelination of the myelin sheath. So the myelin sheath has water in it, and it shouldn't have water. And you need cholesterol to keep that myelin sheath running properly. So every time your body makes a new cell, cholesterol is required, and you're turning these over. Your body turns over cells like all day long. They're like busy bees, constantly repairing cells and building cells. And now, if your cholesterol is too low, what happens? Now you don't have the building blocks to keep up with the repair. And when there's poor repair, disease has a chance to take over. So that is the essential issue. Um, So what is the cancer connection? So cancer is uncontrolled cell growth, but here's the catch. Cancer thrives in an environment where the cell membranes are weak, right? The mitochondria are damaged and the body is under oxidative stress. That's exactly what happens when you have low cholesterol, right? You don't have enough substance, cholesterol substance, to create or repair cell membranes. So the mitochondria become dysfunctional, and then the cell is under attack with oxidative stress. And because you lack CoQ10, you're adding to the problem. Low cholesterol is making this worse. Without enough cholesterol, your cells are fragile. Their energy systems start to fail. And when your lipids are oxidized or dysfunctional, that's when mutations thrive. So research shows this clearly. So there's a complete disconnect between biochemical research and clinical medical research. So we've known this for years, decades, right? It's not about how much cholesterol you have. It's about whether your cholesterol is functional. So cancer correlates with low dysfunctional cholesterol, not the bad cholesterol. That it doesn't even make sense. So cholesterol is transported. It's fat soluble, right? So it can't move by itself. So it needs a protein, and we use lipoproteins called LDLs to transport cholesterol from the liver to the cells because they need it to rebuild. So how is that bad, right? And then HDL takes any excess and redistributes it to other cells that need it, or takes it back to the liver to be recycled, and then LDL picks it up again. There is no good, bad process here. It's what the body does. It's like saying the bus that takes your kids to school is bad, and the bus that brings the kids back from school is good. I mean, it's just dumb. It doesn't make any sense. So, why did the numbers mislead us? So here's the problem. The medical system is still obsessed with total cholesterol and LDL versus HDL, but those numbers are misleading because total cholesterol is just a biomarker. It's telling us a story. That's it. It's not something to be manipulated. LDL isn't inherently bad, like I just said, and HDL isn't always good. So here's what really matters. Are your LDL particles oxidized? So are you testing an ox-LDL? It's a pretty simple test to get. Any lab could run an ox-LDL. What is your triglyceride to HDL level? And are your mitochondria and peroxisome functioning properly? That is going to be a specialized test. And generally your normal provider or primary care provider is going to have no idea what peroxisomal function is, although they should, because it's critical and vital to cell membrane sustenance. Yet we've built an entire pharmaceutical industry around lowering cholesterol numbers while ignoring the fact that low cholesterol can strip away your body's resilience against diseases like cancer. So that's the main problem. It's also a multi-billion-dollar drug, and that's just the reality. So here's the takeaway. Don't celebrate low cholesterol blindly. It's not a badge of health, and instead work with someone who understands the function of lipids. Lipids are absolutely essential to life, okay? Not just the number on the page. Let's get beyond the number, but look at oxidative stress, support your cell membranes, and protect your mitochondria. This is the absolute formula for health. This means focusing on nutrient-dense diet and lifestyle, reduce oxidative stress, supporting membranes with things like phosphatidylcholine and plasmalogens. It's another thing, and we'll talk about it in another video, but 99% of your providers will have no idea what a plasmalogen is, despite the fact that there's 100 years of research on plasmalogens. And the fact of the matter is that when you run out of plasmalogens, you die. So how is it that the medical community doesn't even know what a plasmalogen is? And digging deeper into functional labs, not just total cholesterol score. So, the real question here, if you've been told your cholesterol is too high, don't panic. It's telling us important information, and there's certain other numbers that we need to look at before we decide what to do. And if it's too low, if it's under 200, don't celebrate, because that is not a bill of health. The real question is, why is your body not producing enough energy to send to the liver to create the cholesterol, which is a life-sustaining substance that your cell membranes need, okay? So at Philly Wellness Center, we specialize in looking at the full picture, your hormones, your metabolism, your mitochondria, your resilience, because cholesterol is not the enemy, dysfunction is. If you found this eye-opening, or quite frankly, like just disturbing, hit the subscribe button for more myth-busting health science. And if you want to dig deeper into your own cholesterol and cancer risk, check the link below to book a consultation, and I will see you in the next video.